Angela Rosoff. I'm with Beautify Face Yoga, and I am wrapping up a series around leadership in the workplace, professional leadership, community leadership. And in this talk, we're going to discuss the idea around collaboration and empowered professionalism. I have had to cancel this live a couple of times, and I want to apologize, especially with the nature of the topic that I'm sharing. But I've had a really nasty cold, and I had some things come up yesterday. So just want to acknowledge that. And I also want to add an acknowledgement of land use here, that where I am in the city of San Francisco was once the stewards of Native people, the Ohlone people, and people who were part of this environment that I now live on, and I am broadcasting this from my home. So I just want to acknowledge that. I also want to acknowledge my whiteness, my Caucasianness, and my perspective around leadership and what I'm sharing with you, and any obstacles that I may have in sharing this could come from this privilege that I have. And I just want to acknowledge that. And I hope that you'll find this to be a desirable acknowledgement. If you have any feedback about this, by all means, please share it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you about this. If you have any questions about this. This is a common thing that we do here in my city of San Francisco and our state of California for any public meetings that we offer. And it's an act of inclusion. And I just thought that it was time that I begin to add this to my LinkedIn lives, my YouTube lives. So just want to say that. So today, collaboration. In my city where my children attend school, collaboration is part of their education in public school from the very beginning. From kindergarten, they are working in groups all the way until they leave their school. And there are a number of reasons behind that. That's not what the topic is today, but the idea of collaboration being so foundational to the individual is a good thing for us to take away today, because collaboration is not always simple. It's not always a skill that folks in my generation have honed. In my education, we were more independent in our work, more of the competitive nature. So collaboration across generations has a different scope of reference. By infusing it in our children in school to be able to work with anyone is a wonderful addition to their public school experience. So why that is the case is because it is a skill, and it's a skill that you can hone. It requires your own personal leadership to collaborate. It's not always the easiest thing to do because it slows down the progress a little bit. And the point of slowing down is actually the best part of collaboration, because it means that ideas are married amongst a group with all different perspectives. And that's the real benefit of collaboration, is to have influence from all different parties in a group. This is especially helpful in any community setting, and also in a collegial fashion. If you are putting out a new product, getting the influence of a number of people collaborating at different levels of the process is a powerful action to take in any product development. One of the things that you want to focus on with collaboration is to really focus on the common purpose. When you bring folks together, there may be triggers, there may be settling in, there may be some rift between one person or another. So, creating a focus is essential, and keeping the focus tight, keeping the focus on one topic. It also may have a myriad of different um, supportive topics. Of course, we all want to suss out everything, but focusing on the main topic can really enhance your collaboration. I see someone here, and I just want to say thank you for joining me. Um, the app that I'm using, I can't see who it is, and I also can't see the chat. So if you do have questions, leave them in the chat, and I will be able to respond to them after I complete this sharing here. So focusing on a common purpose, it helps to lead the group in one direction. So allowing others to vent or vacillate, it's okay to help them feel like they're contributing, but then bring them back as the leader of the group to the collaborative point that you are working on together. So that's probably the first thing to do. An example of that is I was in a community meeting last night, not serving as a leader, but bringing my personal leadership. And the what was supposed to be a meeting about a family, it was a family association meeting at my son's school. It turned into an open discussion about inclusion. And wow, that wasn't on the agenda. And that's a wide open topic. So, of course, the meeting turned into a completely different um, collaborative experience than I think the facilitators were hoping for, or were ready for, I think is probably a better word. And by opening up a broad topic like that, it took the meeting off of focus of starting the year off, getting room reps together, doing all of that nitty gritty organizational work, and it turned it into an open topic meeting, which was helpful and very exciting, actually. But the having held a meeting focused on inclusion could have helped the facilitators prepare information to help lead a dialogue to an outcome of perhaps some kind of inclusive action, inclusive next conversation, something that could have formulated into a very active, participating group experience. So that's just one example there. The next thing I want to share is that we want to recognize and name the group dynamic. Anything that's going on in the group that's like burbling up, some kind of subtext that's happening. The leaders of this collaboration really want to name what's happening, bring it out in the open so it can quickly be removed. It can quickly be an obstacle that is overcome, or it can quickly be recognized and worked out in a strategic way. So, for example, I'm going to take this meeting last night. And if you were at the meeting, I'd love to hear your feedback on your take on it. But having led community meetings around inclusion, I understand the trigger in the topic for everyone. Everyone has a different trigger around that. Everyone has an idea around it. And you really need to have some structure around that kind of discussion. So, what I thought was interesting is the leader of the school recognized that there is a lack of interest in this topic around the white parents of the school. So, wow, that's huge, because it wasn't exactly on point. I have an interest in this topic, and I know other families have interest in this topic. So it was a broad generalization, but I liked that he named this feeling that he got from the group. And being the leader of a school, you see a lot of different kinds of behaviors, and it's not always everyone. It's not always representative of everyone, right? So I like that he named it. That was good, but maybe it was a little bit much. What I tried to do in that meeting was to celebrate that we were all talking about this and to draw out the voices of others who were underrepresented in that meeting. I tried to help facilitate it. And I think in the end, it helped the flow of the meeting be more uplifting, with some resolution at the end, with some opportunities for people to wrap up and to follow up on. So I felt like I had some contribution there, even though I'm technically not a leader at this school. But you can do that too. With your own personal leadership, with developing your skills in this way, you can create dynamic energy and shifts in the groups, the circles that you are a part of. And that can actually change a lot of different things for the better. That's why developing your leadership skills are so important, especially if you have a family, especially if you have a stake in your community or your workplace, of course. The other thing that is helpful, that really helps with collaboration, really bringing people together to solve problems, to create things, is to prioritize that we mentality, to bring everyone on the same page. So I want to use that last example that I just shared with you. When we pointed out one group in what was meant to be a simple business meeting turned into a social topic meeting, it didn't feel good. It felt icky, and it was difficult. So while it was good that he named it, maybe not the best setting for it. And here's why. The group dynamic, it was a small group of parents, as any school community has, just a small group participating. Just want to take the time here. And there were some outliers. There were a lot of white folks there and different other representation in our community, but it didn't, calling out, certain group, it didn't promote that we factor. So adding that we to the spirit and the nature of solving problems, creating solutions, can really not only lift up the group and energize the group, but it also helps to remind everyone in the group that we are all working on the same thing together. The leaders, the colleagues, everyone is in the same boat. And with that we mentality, we're able to work better as a team. It is inclusive in nature, which is one foundation of leadership. And it also helps everyone to understand that you're not alone. You don't have to solve this on your own. So that's another just uplifting, collaborative experience. So with these collaboration tools, and let me just go through them, we want to focus on the common purpose. Keep people on focus. You want to recognize and name any group dynamics. If there's some kind of shift with someone, you want to note it, work through it in the moment, and move on so you can focus on the topic at hand. And then you want to establish that we mentality. You can do that in a number of different ways. You can do that in a structured way ongoing to help develop a more, it doesn't have to be a familial feel. It can be a team feel. It can be a cultural feel. So this could actually be one part of the ethos of your organization to develop culture over time that would offer that we experience. So it doesn't have to be, we are doing this. It can be more about developing an organization that has a certain culture. So that can be a long-term approach to collaboration. It's very powerful, especially in the workplace, especially in community forums. And then just to wrap up this entire series I've offered, I want to just offer some ideas on empowered professionalism. And then I'm going to share some alignment and face yoga techniques to help you really reflect your empowered professionalism, because it's such a great factor to owning where you are in your space and time. Maybe you are getting older in the workplace. Maybe you are a youngster just fresh out of college and you're feeling like, I don't know if I fit into this, wherever you are, this like financial institution or stockbroker place. This is the edge that is going to help you feel more professional. And it's by empowering your professional with these 3 key things. And I do have a little list here, so I don't want to miss anything. So you want to make sure that you've got some visibility. Even if you're the new person in the office, if you're the new person in the community, if you're taking in what's going on and you're noticing some things where you can be an influence, you want to bring visibility to it. And you also want to bring visibility to your own skills and your background. You want to show that even if you're starting out in the workplace and you're fresh out of college or fresh from training, whatever you're doing, you want to speak your voice and be heard. You don't want to be the wallpaper. You don't want to hold back and allow others to do things that would take away from your visibility. You want to own that little portion of your world in the workplace. And what happens is you are able to leverage the time invested getting to where you are, and also to help them see your intelligence, which is another part of the foundations of leadership that we've discussed. I'll do a little recap in a moment. So visibility, we talk about that a lot. Amplify your visibility. People talk about this a lot. And it doesn't have to be superficial. Please don't do that, because that's annoying. But when there are those key moments and you recognize this is the moment to share my wisdom, this is the moment to share my, don't let the moment go. Speak your voice. Do what you need to do ahead of time to be able to articulate yourself well. So practice public speaking if you need to do that. Go to Toastmasters or do it in your car when you're driving. Whatever you need to do to be able to articulate yourself, do the work ahead of time, and then be ready for those moments when you can share and let folks know what you're up to, what you know, how you can influence, how you can make an impact into a project, how you could be a part of a collaboration team. All of those kinds of things are really relying on you to step into your personal leadership and let folks know what you're up to. The other thing that you want to do is to notice those times too when you can raise up the work of others. Other people are just like you and amazing, and you work on the same team as them. So recognizing the work of others is one way to really celebrate your community and offer that lift up and that collaborative influence. It is shining in your work, and others will notice that you're not only capable, articulate, but you're also great to work with. And in this world, it's very rare that we get to be superstars. It's very rare that we get to do something completely on our own. We need people to help us in our work. We need others to lift us up. We need others to do things for us. We need others to do things with us. And we need to tell others how to do things. So raise up the work of others, be recognized, and show how delightful you are to be around. So the other part of empowering your professionalism is to create a supportive network of mentors, collaborators, and other professionals in your field. Create this tight network, develop it. If you don't have this developed, it's okay. You can start today. It's not a problem. There are many people in your field. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm sure they're playing in your field. You want to build this field of professionals. And there are a couple of reasons for that. Not only does it raise your visibility in a very passive way, but it also develops your professionalism. You're empowering yourself with owning the field that you're in and contributing in a way that helps the people in your field. So I just want to use an example here. I am in a face yoga method teaching group, and I am developing a group of professionals alongside me. But I'm sharing what I'm doing in this group so they have some kind of barometer, and also know that I can be a resource if it's something that they may be interested in. I could introduce them to others. And then also I have benefited from this kind of exchange. By having a network, I have been able to funnel, people who I really love and know into jobs and roles that are now helping their families. And that's also helping my small economy here in my neighborhood. So this kind of empowered professionalism lets people know that not only are you a reliable person, but you're networked, you're someone to go to, and this helps future employers, colleagues, clients understand that when they work with you, you've got like a team behind you, even if it's just through your contacts. That is a valuable asset in your career, is to develop professional contacts, a professional network for yourself. And you can share that with your group. Okay, we're good on time. I love it. So let me just do a little recap. I have a little here. I just want to go through all of this series. If you haven't been able to participate, you can go back in my LinkedIn profile. There's also on my YouTube channel, which is Beautify Face Yoga. And let's just start. Let's start at the top. So the first video we shared, the keys to self-awareness. That is profound, and that alone can take you so far. When you can become self-aware about your energy, how you speak to others, how you represent yourself, how you comport yourself even, then you can move on to the rest of the leadership qualities. But self-awareness is very critical. An example I want to share about this is Elon Musk, the CEO founder of Tesla. The way he has comported himself with the whole Twitter, the whole Twitter thing, it's been poor. And it's just clearly aware that he lacks self-awareness. Now, that may not have always been the case to get where he is. He has moxie, he has intelligence, he has a background, he understands science, and that got him to a certain point. But now he is where he is. He has fame, he has wealth, he has been influenced in a number of different ways. He runs in a different circle. He may have isolated himself. It's unclear. But he has no self-awareness about how he has comported himself during this whole transaction. It's been very poor and unprofessional. And he's also, influencing so many people who admire him. So that's too bad. But using that in a scope to understand that self-awareness is a practice. This is something that we have to do every day because we're always developing and it never stops. We get to a new pinnacle and we have a whole host of new issues, new problems to sort out, and new awarenesses to behold in ourselves. So that's the first step. The second step is communication. Be able to speak for yourself, be able to articulate your ideas. And if this is an issue, you need to work on it. Super important to be able to relate to people, to draw people into your story, and to be able to give a message that you are hoping to share. Critical thinking is the next one. So that one is internal dialogue, right? You're thinking critically. But in the professional world and as a leader, you want to show others that you are a critical thinker. And that requires intelligence, timing, the ability to be self-aware, and the ability to communicate. So when you're in a job interview, you want to ask open-ended questions. You want to be able to show through your questions how thoughtful you are, because some questions are better than other questions, right? So that's just one example. The next leadership quality is inclusion. So that is broad. That goes across race, across gender. It goes far and wide, just depending upon who you're including and how you're including. So honing an inclusive leadership style is critical. It's never been more critical because we need everyone's voice in the mix to solve life's problems that we have now, the world's problems. We need everyone to be able to participate because it's just very critical. You want to incorporate multiple perspectives for any good solution, right? It's just critically important. And I gave that example earlier about the meeting last night, and that was a great beginning to including others in an institutional way. It's a beginning to create the ethos, and I salute that. That's wonderful. There's always a beginning to that, and it's also a skill that needs practice every single day. A host of resources out there that you can find, books, trainings. You can even work with your employer. They probably have these kinds of practices. And then today we talked about collaboration and empowered professionalism. So all of these things are part of a good leader's toolkit, someone who employs leadership daily. They're going to be honing all of these skills every single day. It's important. You can't slack on them. It's important because in our world, we have a lot of problems to solve. So let's move on. I want to show you a couple of things. So with all of this in mind, alignment is key. It's key in sharing your leadership qualities. It's key, I'm just going to adjust my camera here. It's key in showing folks who you are, how you work, how you move through the world. And alignment is also in yoga. It's part of this subtle body system of aligning your body and your actions with your values and how you think and feel. So it's a profound action to take to work on your alignment. Anyone can do it. If you are seated in a chair all the time, you can still work on your alignment. If you have backaches, all that kind of stuff, if you have things that you have to overcome with your alignment, you can still work on it every day. And it shows confidence in who you are, in your visibility. It's interwoven into everything we've discussed. So I just want to give a plug. beautifyfaceyoga.com. I have blog post about alignment, the 3 ways to improve your alignment. You can check that out. I'll put the link below here in LinkedIn and on YouTube. But the first thing that you want to do is just simply roll your shoulders back and open your heart. This automatically tells a group that you are an open person. You're using nonverbal communication to leverage your leadership. You want to have a relaxed appearance in your body movements. That means doing some exercise every day, whatever it is, stretches, cardio, weightlifting, whatever it is that you do, be sure that you do it every day. Daily exercise of just walking can be so beneficial to your health long term, and it can relieve the stress that we have in our modern life. So one thing I wanted to show you is how to release the fascia of the head and the face. And it's an uplifter, so it's like a little lift, a little facelift for you. And when we have a toned and relaxed face, we share with people that we have self-care practices. We take ourselves seriously and we look more relaxed. So that's what I wanted to share at the end here. We're going over a little bit. I'm sorry. This will just take a moment. But working on your open chest, rolling the shoulders back, you can gently give yourself a massage at the jaw. Release the jaw. This impacts the hairline fascia. It starts to relax the hairline fascia. So when we do this other pose, you're going to feel more benefits. So giving yourself a massage here, release the jaw, move the jaw around. Give yourself a little throat massage. We all communicate, stimulating our thyroid gland can really help to clear the throat chakra, help with the hormones, help to calm us down over time. Now, what you want to do is bring the thumbs to the sides of the top of your ear. This is where the fascia runs along the hairline, and bring the sides of your hands to the rest of your hairline. Gently pull the hairline back, lift the head, tilt the head back, and you want to do this for 10 seconds. So I'm just going to count it down from 5 because we've already been doing it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then let's move over to the other side. Take a deep breath in and let's hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release the pose. And then notice, do you feel that little lift up? I do. So thank you for trying that pose with me. Thank you for being here. Such a lovely thing. I'm going to do some other series here on LinkedIn. I just love this community. And what I want to share is go to my blog and you can learn all of the exercises that will really release this fascia in the head. It'll release the hairline fascia. It'll help your face look more relaxed, which is important in leadership. And you can find it all there at beautifyfaceyoga.com /3 ways to improve your alignment. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. Have a great afternoon.